wildlife and animals because in 2007, a zoo in Idaho started a program where to protect animals, where visitors would donate money and support zoos, and they use that money to help a country called Mozambique, a country Mozambique, a country in Africa.
I don't have anything.
The second reason why I think zoos are good for wildlife and animals is that a national park called Garanza in Africa had suffered a 15-year-long war, and where there was once thousands of zebras, but now there were only 10. But thanks to a zoo, they got 15 more, and the zebras now live in a protected area of that park.
So, can I rebuttal?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's like still endangered animals living in zoos. So, like even if they're in a protected area, still people there's people around the world that like have different ways of getting into zoos and like just harming animals without other people knowing.
Okay. Third point.
My final reason why zoos are good for wildlife and animals is that this kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, but a zoo called Zoo Boys raised $1.2 million thanks to visitors from 2007 to 2013, where some money went to lions and zebras and some went to squirrels and Idaho.
So I understand like with zoos and stuff, like they'll help animals, but most zoos, they just spend more of their money building like spaces for the animals instead of building like their actual habitat and wildlife for the animals.
Zoos and aquariums in the United States raise $160 million a year to protect animals and wildlife around the world.
Again, like they don't just help animals by like donating to them. They actually have to like build their wildlife to make them like feel like they're in a safe place. With all these other people around them, they'll just probably feel like they're not going to be safe around other people.
Okay.
So there's some zoos, like let's say that there was a zoo that had like a whole bunch of animals, and like they had a whole bunch of kangaroos, but they didn't need that many kangaroos. Like the maximum was, let's say like 10 or 20, and they had like 22 or 21. So they would just kill those extra animals. And so, for example, there was this giraffe named Marius. He was raised in the zoo as a baby, and then he got killed in adult life just because he was one of the animals that were chosen to get killed.
Okay. Next point.
Like zoos, so when zoos make like money and they like spend it on the building and spaces, like animals, they don't really, again, like they can't feel their natural habitat like from where they are.
Okay.
So there's fewer than 1 in 5 zoo animals in the United States that are actually endangered instead of protected.
Well, according to the New York Times, in 2008 there was a study that by WAZA, World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, found that zoos and aquariums help conservation of over 800 species.
I have nothing for that.
Okay. Is that it?